Next up, the CarBuyer Advisor, your first place to turn for everything automotive.
Businesses compete for your business in a variety of different ways. Typically, they all offer very similar products and services. In each segment of the market, there is a virtual sea of them in each field of expertise for you to navigate through. There are those that rise above the competition. They're truly committed. They go out of their way to deliver that product or service to you. They not only really care about you and your satisfaction, they go out of their way to provide the level of service they would expect as a consumer. They drive themselves. In the next case, they are not only driven, they drive to you. The operative word in their name is mobile. Please welcome back to our show Rick and Michelle Anderson of Nevada Mobile Automotive Service. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Help our listeners understand, a little bit about what compelled you to go mobile in the first place.
Well, like you said, we wanted to go above and beyond on service. So we want to make it as painless as possible for the consumer just to have their car serviced or repaired.
Well, I ask myself this all the time. Are your competitors complacent? Are they lazy? Are they just satisfied to plug along at status quo? Why is mobile the exception rather than the norm? And please help me understand why everyone isn't mobile.
Well, maybe they are lazy. I don't know. But we like to, there's a lot of shops out there, and we like to bring the service to them so that they don't have to take time out of their day. And maybe it should be the norm, but I'm glad they're not, because that's what we do. There's
no competition then. So you really stand in a league of a part of the industry all your own. And
there is competition, but be aware that there is companies out there that might show up in a tank top and flip-flops and out of a pickup, and we're not that way.
Well, and we're going to get to that. So hold on to that thought for a minute, because I think that's the picture that consumers have of mobile service. And I think we addressed that with our previous guest, is that there's a fleet of vehicles and your people are uniformed and you're a quality business, your presentation is all that. And like I said, we're going to get to that. But first, for our listeners that didn't hear your previous interview on our show, I'd like to start with a little refresher course about your mobile automotive service. Let's start with labor rate.
Labor rate's $89 an hour.
And for those of you that are not familiar with that, that's actually low. A lot of the franchise shops are in excess of 3 digits.
That's under the industry standard. Not a mobile shop. A stationary shop is typically, like you said, 3 digits, $100 to $120.
And some of them actually in Reno are going up to $130, $40 an hour, and I know that for a fact.
In a bad economy, that sounds like bad news to me.
It does. And this is an interesting one, and I already know the answer to these questions. But I think our listeners need to hear this. How much extra do you charge for travel time?
We have an $89 diagnostic fee. So there is no, to get to the customer, there is no additional money. It's $89 for us to come out to diagnose your car, and we will credit you a $44.50 back to you towards the repair. So, in a sense, we have our fuel costs and some overhead. So in a sense, if you want to say the additional cost to come out to you is $44.50, that might be what it is. But $89 for us to come out and diagnose your car, and then you'll know what's wrong.
For those of our listeners that think that that's a mobile charge, I want to actually correct you on that, because if you go into any shop, they're going to charge you a diagnostic time.
That's correct.
And what you're saying is that you charge a diagnostic time, you charge an hour's labor to come out and diagnose the problem, and then you give them half of that back. So your diagnostic time ends out being a half an hour, where if they go into a stationary shop, they're going to end up paying that full hour plus the cost of the repair. They're not going to get a credit back for it. So your diagnostic time is about
$44.50, half an hour.
And so there really isn't any extra charge for travel time. You're not charging them for going out and coming back and all of that.
Yeah, we don't charge it by the hour. It's standard times.
And how much do you charge for a standard oil change for somebody that wants you? Because I think people don't realize, this isn't just that you come out and make mobile repairs. You do routine scheduled maintenance. So what do you charge for a standard oil change?
Standard oil change is $40.
And how about for vehicles that require synthetic oils?
$76.
I think
$76, including the oil and the filter, up to 5 quarts. So if you have a vehicle that takes 8 quarts of oil, we will have to charge you for the additional amount. But yeah, $76 for 5 quarts of oil, including the filter, synthetic.
So let me just share with you, I just had my oil changed yesterday, and it was about $80 because I had a couple extra quarts. But the reality is, I would have paid, and this is a Jaguar, I would have paid almost $150 to have this done anywhere else. Yeah. So I just wanted our listeners to understand that they can get these services done for a fraction of the cost with a quality of service that's unparalleled. And how do you calculate the labor time for a repair for our listeners that didn't understand that?
We have a subscription to a computer program called AllData, which has standardized repair times for anything from a belt to brakes, water pumps, and we stick to that amount of allotted time for the repair. Whether we go over it or not, that's where we stick to for the time for repair.
In the industry, that standard's called the book time for repair.
Time,
so
yes.
You're not adding anything to the book time because you're mobile.
No, none at all. So if it takes an hour for a water pump.
And I would like to just clarify, Mitch, when he says book time, what that means is if it says that it takes 2 hours to change your water pump, and our guys come out and it's going to take them 3 hours to do it for whatever the reason is, you're getting charged 2 hours. But if we come out and it says 2 hours and our guys are able to do it a little quicker because the bolts come out a little easier or the gaskets come off a little easier, then we're still going to charge you 2 hours. And it's a difference only because we take the good with the bad, and the bad is that if we go over the time, we're eating that cost.
Well, and I just experienced that yesterday. My job took more than the book time, and we're going to get to that one too. So I'll touch on that. And it didn't change the cost of my repair at all.
No, not at all. And in all honesty, a water pump's a perfect example because we have gaskets to scrape, and all our technicians take extra pride in what they do. We all love what we do. So making sure the surfaces are clean, the car gets reassembled properly. Their name is on it's your car, but their name is on the repair of that car, and they take pride in what they do. So if it takes a little longer, they're not rushing. If it takes a little longer to do the job properly, if it takes from 2 hours to 3 hours to do the job properly, that's what it is, and it's no additional cost to you.
Well, and I just wanted to really more emphasize the fact that you're not adding anything to these book times because you're mobile. And then how many trucks do you operate? How are they equipped? And describe your fleet of vehicles to our listeners.
We have 4 trucks. And our trucks are not pickup trucks. The guys are not going to come out in pickups. What they come out in is a full shop on wheels. So it's pretty much the size of a moving van, logoed in blue logos. It says Nevada Mobile Automotive Service on it. On the inside of the van, you're going to see on some of them, they have a welder, a generator, an air compressor, a full-size toolbox. One of our vans has a brake lathe in there, so when we come out to do your brakes, we will also turn your rotors on the truck at your home office or wherever we are. The guys will come out in uniforms with with our logo on it and their name on the shirt. And when you call in and we dispatch somebody to you, we will let you know when they come out there that Rick is going to be coming out. You can expect to see Steve at your front door, and their name tag is on their shirt. So when they come to the front door, you will know who it is.
So you'll know they're from your company. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted people to understand that because I think that's one of the things that might hold some people back from maybe even calling and trying somebody that they don't know. They don't see you face to face, and they feel a little uncomfortable having a stranger come out. That is not the problem. That is not the case with this company. You can feel very comfortable having them come out to your home or office. They're very professional. Their equipment's professional. They're professional. Their quality is amazing. And I mentioned a little bit about that. I think that you said it as well, Michelle, that I think the picture people have is a guy showing up in a pickup. And, then their question is, well, how qualified would your technicians be? And tell them a little bit about their qualifications.
Well, we have ASC certified technicians, and we all specialize in different areas of the automobile: suspension, brakes, automotive, electrical. And to touch bases on, to give you an idea of who shows up, like Michelle said, we are in uniform, logoed trucks. Everything's written on an invoice. We have warranties, 12-month, 12,000-mile warranties, and basically we have those in place. We've heard too many horror stories of someone showing up, saying this is wrong with their car, but they need a deposit for parts. They take the money, never show up again, and then the customer all of a sudden is, my car's not fixed. I've lost money, and now we have a problem. So, we are a legitimate company, bonded, insured. We show up like we have logoed trucks in uniform, certified technicians.
And you mentioned you have a variety of different technicians with different accreditations, and so that you will send the right technician for the job. And I wanted to talk about the diagnosis process because
Sure.
I just had that experience. I've got over 3 decades in this industry, and diagnosis and the determining what the problem is. There's so many repairs that are done which were not the underlying problem, and then they're selling you more and more work. That I wanted to share this. That yesterday I had a noise in the front of a graphically obnoxious noise, a grinding, groaning, and it was a woo 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 that lasted for a while, and then it turned into a very, very scary noise. And when I came to you, you drove about 100 feet in the car with me, and you immediately diagnosed it as a wheel bearing. Now, my perception with all of my experience in the industry is that I had a transfer case problem in this vehicle, and that you might have been wrong, but I was wrong. You put the wheel up, you turned it, you could hear the bearing grinding, and after the repair, the car is completely quiet. Somebody else could have sold me a transfer case repair had it not been you. And I really wanted people to understand what the integrity behind the repair goes, and the difference in the cost of those repairs is about 3,000%, between a couple $100 and $4 or $5 grand
in a transfer case. Correct. And that's why it's very important for all of us to use companies that are honest and have moral values, so that, if you would have taken it to, I'm not saying any other shop, but another facility that would have said, yeah, you're right, you do need a transfer case, and charge you thousands of dollars, there's dishonesty out there.
Well, and one of the things too I wanted them to understand is that I think there's a lot of our female listeners right now, and a lot of husbands that are afraid of this as well. That they feel like the women might get charged more or be sold things that they don't necessarily need. And we had a long conversation about this. Michelle, please, you field that one for me.
Yes, that's true. And I personally, as a woman, have experienced that, where I have taken my car to a shop and they have come out and said that I need brakes or I need shocks or something that I just don't need. And as a consumer, because I am a woman, they will charge me just about 20% more than what they would charge a man if my husband was to go into the shop. We are an equal gender shop. So ladies, if you call and you say, I have a problem with the car, most of the time it's going to be myself or one other lady who's going to quote something to you. And gentlemen, if you call in afterwards, you're going to get the exact same quote.
Doesn't matter, male or female, they're all going to pay the same thing.
It doesn't matter.
And Nevada Mobile Automotive Service, you can reach them at 775-200-4669.